Happy to Chat bench then. Is it exactly what it says on the tin?
Literally, yes. So this is about bringing people together. Some people who unfortunately live alone and might come through this area several times a week and actually want some social interaction and some company. So this is a safe space for them to do that. And, everyone knows that this is a place where people can come, have a seat and hopefully have that engagement from someone else in their community.
It's a lovely idea. It still seems quite mad that we need something like this. So what is the need for this to break those barriers of isolation?
Well, you're right. It's a very sad state of our society that we're having to force this type of connection. But sadly, Norwich has a really difficult level of loneliness. So about 42% of people live alone. In some areas in Norwich, that can be as high as 65%. So actually, we've got a lot of people living longer. And that's not just older people, but people living alone. And actually, they're losing that social interaction. They're losing that opportunity to share how they feel, talk, and just have that, we're a social species and actually having that engagement with each other. So we were approached by the People Kit and they wanted to do something for Norwich, and one of their founding members saw this in Ireland, which is doing lots and lots around age-friendly, which is what as a charity we're trying to do, is to make Norwich an age-friendly city.
Fab stuff. Tell us a little bit more then about the People Kit, because that's where the funding has come from.
Yeah, so they've supported us as a charity for a number of years now. So they're an organisation who have lots of different disciplines like marketing and other services and help lots of local businesses. But we've been their sort of charity for a number of years, and so support like this is absolutely incredible, because it enables us to do things like this which we would really struggle to do without that corporate support. And that's a really good way of showing the community, of which the People Kit are part of, about the difference a small thing can make. And actually, this might only be a chair to someone and they'll just walk past it, but to someone else it'll be a lifeline, it will be a way into that community. They might sit on here one day, then they're playing bowls up the road, or, going to a knit and natter and all the things that happen around here. So
it breaks down that barrier, doesn't it? Because it is so clear, as long as you don't do what I've done, and I've just covered up the sign to Happy to Chat bench. A very simple thing that could make a huge amount of difference. I'm sure some of our listeners are as well, quite shocked by that stat about isolation. You think of Norwich, that we're not in some tiny little hamlet somewhere in rural Norfolk. We're in Norwich, a busy, busy place, Helston, a busy suburb, and yet the isolation is here. But let's talk stereotypes quickly. Ireland, you think everybody's ever so chatty. Us Brits, we're a little bit more reserved maybe if you go down the stereotype route. And actually we need that little bit of encouragement, don't we, to open up. But what a world of difference that can make.
Yeah, I think it was BT who said it was good to talk. Yeah. So I think that adage is true. And, we do like a Mardle around here in Norfolk. So I think the age-friendly is about thinking about society and how it works, and often it is the simple things. It talks about looking at transport, how people get from A to B, and that's more challenging if you struggle with mobility. It is about our services accessible to all ages, and often, especially with Norwich, we've seen development after development of students and university buildings, but actually what about the older population? And by doing it for the older population, actually that benefits everybody, because usually you're talking about good access and you're talking about shared spaces, and we want to look at what other people have done internationally and also nationally about different ideas and different concepts. And actually one thing we want to look at is how we connect people in view of transport across the city, because there's big gaps between certain bus areas. How do you then get from A to B when you're struggling to walk? We've got to solve those things. None of them are easy answers. Actually, we've got to come together to talk about it.
So you're right. Well, we're definitely talking about it. Is the hope then there'll be more benches like this across the city? I know you're Age UK Norwich, but the hope would be that this goes out across Norfolk.
Yeah, and also the message about age-friendly. Our colleagues in North Norfolk are looking at age-friendly as well, and it's really coming to the fold. It's not a new initiative. It actually started in 1991. But it's taken all this time for it to start to get into the sort of vanguard of what people are talking about. And, we live in the second oldest population in the country. So actually, if we don't solve it here, we're going to be in trouble, and we have to talk about it and get some good actions in place.
But of all ages, that's the beauty of this bench. And I have to say, we've been chatting for a while, and my bum hasn't gone numb. It's a very comfortable bench, and it's been a pleasure speaking to you. CEO of Age UK Norwich, it's Dan Skipper. Thank you very much for chatting to me on the Happy to Chat bench here in Helston.